The sting of her palm against my cheek burned hotter than the chandelier's glare above us. 200 pairs of eyes froze, champagne flutes hovering mid-sip, as the sharp crack of the slap echoed through the ballroom. My ears rang, not from the sound, but from the sudden silence that followed. Forks stilled, murmurs died, and the string quartet's bows hung limp. I stood there, my face throbbing, her handprint a ghost of heat on my skin, while she stared at me, eyes wild with something I couldn't name. Rage, fear, regret? The room blurred into a haze of sequins and shadows, and all I could think was, how did we get here? I didn't move. Not when she turned and stormed through the crowd, her silver dress catching the light like a blade. Not when the whispers started, soft at first, then buzzing like flies over a corpse. My fingers twitched toward my cheek, but I forced them down, gripping the edge of my tuxedo jacket instead. The fabric was damp under my palms. I wanted to scream, to chase her, to demand answers. But I just stood there, rooted, the weight of every stare pinning me like a specimen under glass. I'd spent months planning this night, our engagement party, our moment, and now it was unraveling thread by thread, in front of everyone we knew. The memory of her laughter from earlier that evening clawed at me. We'd danced under those same chandeliers, her head tilted back, her breath warm against my neck as she whispered, "We're going to be so happy." I'd believed her. God, I believed her. But now as I replayed the night, I saw the cracks I'd ignored, her distracted glances, the way her smile faltered when she thought I wasn't looking, the cryptic text she deleted when I leaned over her shoulder. "Just work," she'd said, brushing it off with a laugh. I'd let it go because I trusted her. Because I loved her. The ballroom was suffocating. I slipped through the crowd, avoiding the pitying glances and half-hearted reassurances. "She's just stressed. Give her time." My shoes clicked against the marble floor, each step heavier than the last, until I reached the balcony. The night air was sharp, slicing through my jacket. Below, the city hummed, oblivious. Car horns, distant laughter, the pulse of life that didn't care about my world collapsing. I gripped the railing, the cold metal biting into my palms, and tried to piece together the moment everything changed. Started with a question. Innocent, I thought. We'd been mingling, her arm looped through mine, when I mentioned the weekend trip she'd taken last month. "You never told me how that conference went," I said, smiling, expecting a quick recap. Her face stiffened just for a second before she laughed it off. "Oh, boring panels, bad coffee." But her eyes darted to the side, and her grip on my arm tightened. I should have pressed her then, but I didn't. I let the moment slip, chalking it up to nerves. She'd been distant lately, late nights at the office, vague excuses, but I told myself it was the pressure of the engagement, the wedding plans, the future we were building. Now, standing alone on the balcony, I couldn't ignore the truth clawing at my chest. The conference. The late nights. The locked phone she never used to hide. My breath hitched as I pulled out my own phone, scrolling through our texts. Her messages were short, clipped, nothing like the novels she used to send, full of emojis and inside jokes. I opened her contact, my thumb hovering over the call button. What would I even say? Why did you hit me? What are you hiding? The questions churned, each one heavier than the last, but I couldn't bring myself to dial. Instead, I went back inside. The party had resumed, a forced normalcy, people laughing too loudly, avoiding my gaze. I found her coat draped over a chair, her purse tucked beneath it. My hands moved before my brain caught up, unzipping the bag, fishing out her phone. The screen lit up, password protected. I typed her birthday. Nothing. Our anniversary. Nothing. My fingers trembled as I tried random numbers, guilt and desperation twisting in my gut. This wasn't me. I wasn't the guy who snooped, but I wasn't the guy who got slapped in front of everyone he knew either. I slipped the phone back, my heart pounding like I'd run a marathon. I needed air again, but before I could move, her best friend, Claire, appeared, her face tight with concern. "You okay?" she asked, her voice low, like she was afraid of the answer. I nodded, but the lie tasted bitter. "What happened, Claire?" I asked, my voice cracking. She hesitated, her eyes flicking to the floor. "She's going through something. Just talk to her." Her words were careful, but they carried weight, like she knew more than she was saying. I wanted to push, to demand the truth, but she was already backing away, swallowed by the crowd. I found her in the hallway, leaning against the wall, her arms crossed, her face streaked with mascara. She didn't look at me as I approached, but her body tensed like she was bracing for a fight. "What was that, Elise?" My voice was low, barely controlled. She didn't answer, just stared at the floor, her breath uneven. "Talk to me," I said, stepping closer. "You don't get to do that and walk away." Her eyes snapped up, blazing. "You don't get it, do you?" Her voice was sharp, jagged. "You're so busy planning our perfect little life, you don't even see me." I flinched, her words cutting deeper than the slap. "What are you talking about?" "I see you. I've always seen you." But even as I said it, doubt crept in. Had I? Or had I been too caught up in the idea of us to notice the distance growing between us? She laughed, a brittle sound. "You didn't see the messages, did you?" My stomach dropped. "What messages?" I asked, but I already knew. The late nights, the locked phone, the conference she never talked about. She shook her head, tears spilling over. "I didn't mean for it to happen," she whispered. "It was a mistake. A stupid, stupid mistake." The world tilted. I grabbed the wall to steady myself, her words sinking in like poison. "Who?" I managed, my voice barely audible. She didn't answer, but her silence was enough. I saw it all, the stolen moments, the lies, the other man she'd let into the space that was supposed to be ours. I wanted to yell, to break something, but all I could do was stand there, my heart splintering. I don't remember leaving the hotel. I don't remember packing my suitcase or slipping out the back door. But I remember the quiet of our apartment, the way her perfume still lingered on the pillows. I remember sitting on the edge of our bed, staring at the engagement ring I'd left on her nightstand, its diamond catching the moonlight. I didn't leave a note. I didn't need to. The silence said enough. By morning I was gone, my phone off, my car pointed toward nowhere. The road stretched out, endless and empty, and for the first time in months, I felt something like clarity. She'd broken us, but I'd let her. I'd ignored the signs, the doubts, the truth staring me in the face. And as the miles blurred past, I realized the hardest truth of all. I wasn't running from her. I was running from the version of myself that believed love could fix everything.